Okay, so almost as a joke, I mean, but for real, I just did like a, hey, this is the best way to store ratchet straps, as proof of my, like, just how much smarter I am than everybody, right? Like, how much smarter I am than everybody. Even this ratchet strap problem. So I do a video, and it's like, here it is, right? So you take it, it's already threaded through in the middle. The ratchet strap is already through the hole. It's ready to go. The hooks are right next to each other. So you just unroll this, and then boom, you have the tail, and you have both hooks. And so you just hook one end around where you are, and then you let the tail through to the point until you get to the other side. It's already through, so you're kind of dealing with like the same thing that you would anyway if you had the tail, and you were like doing the ratchet strap thing where you hook the tail independent of it, and then throw the thing over, and then thread it through the eye, and you just have it already ready to go. And then when you're done, this is where it differs from everybody else, is everybody else is like, oh, how do I fold it? Or it doesn't fold it. And then so I wrap it around it this way, and I hook it, and it's like nice and secure, and I put it in my box, and it doesn't get tangled. And they spend like all this time doing this like intricate folding bullshit, right? And it still comes undone because it's like stacked on itself. So you have to like try and it's like, just get done with it. Don't take it out of the eye. Pull the tail all the way back through. It takes like 2 seconds, and then put the hooks on the body, and then just roll it long ways. You can even do it with the mechanism closed, so it's like even shorter, but this long ways, it's not gonna come like unstacked off of itself. It takes like 2.5 seconds. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to tuck this tail in for it to like actually come undone to any significant degree. It would have to be jostling around and rolling around forever before the tail came undone long enough to unravel. But you could stick it through anything. Like just stick it through the eye at the end, or tuck it under itself. And then you have this like hyper stable, ready to just like be deployed ratchet strap already threaded through and put together. And it got this way from being even lazier in the folding process. Like there, that's never gonna come undone unless you're on some African safari. And so you just have a like, hey, here you go. You can throw them to each other. It's here's a ratchet strap ready to go, right? And there's video after video after video of people like having these like, oh, I did this and this, and the only other thing I could come up with was them in a bird nest. And it's like, wow. And I'm looking at it, and I'm gonna keep looking, but like, is this new? Is this new to everybody? Am I that much smarter? What, like a narcissist is somebody who just pretends to be smart, but they're not smart. So it comes off as like like when you act, if you take on the responsibility of a smart person, but you're not smart, obviously that's going to cause massive problems. So when you think you're smart, but you're not, and you like offer your psychologically cutting advice or insight, or your, your opinion on things, or like when people disagree with you, they are being absolutely absurd, because why would they disagree with intelligence itself? The unfortunate thing is when if you actually are smart, then you're right, and you're just spitting truth, And then, man, it's really frustrating when nobody listens. So there's like that one asshole out there, maybe a couple, but there's actually for real smart people out there, and it's hard to differentiate them from the buffoons because all the buffoons are trying to act like them. Learning the jargon. People like to look smart the way they like to look like they have big muscles. You know, like a narcissist is like an intellectual bodybuilder. And in the like our physical performance doesn't matter that much these days. So like if you look good versus looking good through function, there's not that big of a difference. You know, it doesn't totally hammer you, but if you were in, like, our mind is what's stressed the most in life. And so if the mind is faking being intelligent, then it's going to get into confrontations that it, like, it's not actually there for. Just like a physical body that, like, I don't know, whatever. I'm thinking, like, you know, cliche. Somebody that got like plastic surgery and bicep implants, right? That's what's going on with, like, if you read books with unintegrated knowledge and stuff like that, you can take on the shell or the appearance of being very smart from all these factual things. And if you don't build up if you don't build up from first premises things to support your larger worldview, then you become like a intellectual narcissist. Your beliefs and your stuff don't actually work in reality because they're top down. A top down would be like a mask. If something's not top down, it's a mask. Wherever you have that break in the bottom, it's wearing everything else like a performative mask. So everybody into science and all these other fields of study where there's like a black box at the bottom to where they go, oh, I don't know, but here's where I start my belief system. That's a ego. That's a mask that their true self is wearing, and then there's a disconnect, and then that's where their knowledge starts. So an actual smart person builds their knowledge from first premises, which sometimes is limited in scope compared to the other one. The only way to get to such large degrees from your actual starting place in thinking is somewhat elaborate. You know, to go to the stars. And the people, by and large, a lot of the people, you know, offering information from the stars or trip to the stars are in some degree like charlatans or confused, or it's impossible to know. You know, it's like the degree to which the space agencies lie to people seems to be on the same level of astrologers. They seem to be astrologers, you know, offering glimpses of the true picture, but, you know, like either lying or pretending to know things that they don't know. Especially when, again, it's done by people who have not built their knowledge on first premises. And then often we find that groups of these people who lack that direct knowledge or that direct knowing are sometimes controlled by people who do have a more direct knowledge or who do have a more direct knowing. A lot of the time, groups of people are controlled by initiates, a sort of upper class of people who have, you know, either a deeper mask or actual direct knowing, as I think some people think or they claim to know. But somewhere out there is there's that, that resentful genius that nobody will listen to, and he's like, you guys suck, and it's like and then there's got to be some instances where they're right. How do I know? Is it clinical narcissism, or am I just right? Sometimes you're correct, because the narcissist is acting like they're correct all the time, and maybe I am, there's got to be a couple of instances in history to where it's like, it's not me, it's you guys. And I've been the one with the right answers, trying to help in the right way all the time. And my only problem was that I didn't know how to condescend down to your dumb ass and say it correctly in the way that a toddler could understand things. But also on some level, it's up to the toddler to realize they're operating with an 8-year-old. To recognize that in comparison to a toddler, an 8-year-old knows everything. And so the whole kicking and screaming and calling me names against my ideas and everything, no. I could have done better at dealing with your immaturity and resistance to the truth. What if that's the case? What if in this time, what if I'm special enough this time that it's not actually narcissism? I'm that special. It's like a lottery ticket. The odds of it are incredibly low, but somebody's got to be lucky.